Well, he's cold here. It's like 66 degrees. I'm freezing.
More like 100.
Um, it's like 100 there. That sucks. Okay, so we are recording. I don't know if Krista and Carmen have court. That's the hard part with attorneys. Um, so we're just going to start, but I do have a question for the two of you. For some reason, I'm really struggling with places to have my retreats next year.
Mm.
What are some? I was wishing that these Viking river cruises were less. The lowest one I can find is 8 days,
Yeah, they're long.
Mm.
but that's a long one because some of these are like $2,500 a person and it's all inclusive. It's like,
Yeah, but you can't just get off in the middle because part of it would be like just use half of it, but that's not an option,
or you
like
could because they have ports that they go to, right? So you could
yeah,
like time it so that if you were in Barcelona, then you would
yeah.
fly. But it's like, I wish there was a way for us to do that. But if anybody has
So
suggestions, let me know.
The
yeah,
U.S. Virgin Islands.
I was actually St. Thomas was one I was thinking about. And I was actually looking in Arizona too, because if I stayed in an all-inclusive, I think I would just rent the presidential suite and then have all the meetings in my room versus, I mean, it doesn't matter, but it matters like where I'm like, we're paying for this room and it's not very intimate and, like in the DR, right?
so DR's a no. Like you wouldn't.
It's not that I wouldn't go back, but
You could pick a new resort, so at least it was a new experience.
true, part of it
I
for me
I
too.
love Costa Rica.
You did.
I loved that. Yeah,
We could go stay in the jungle. It just takes so freaking long to get to Costa Rica. Like I have to spend the night in Atlanta.
yeah, yeah. It
And
definitely wasn't
then
that tough for me.
I know,
um
right? Hey,
somewhere on
Carmen.
Instagram, I don't know if I could find it again. I might have saved it, but there were these cruises in Vietnam, and I think those were 4 days.
That may-
Um
I was
and
also thinking south of France or Portugal or
I've heard
Amsterdam.
I've heard lots of good things about Portugal. Oh, a friend of mine,
Portugal's on my list, my bucket list.
I'll send you a link. A friend of mine that I ran into at a party last week, probably
Mhm.
haven't really talked to Blake in like 10 years. But I knew he and his wife had bought a hotel in Spain. So it's an 8 suite hotel in Spain on the Portugal border.
Okay, yeah, send it to me. That'd be awesome.
Yeah.
And if anybody has any requests, Carmen, we're talking about locations for next year's mastermind. I just had a question for people because for some reason, I'm struggling with like coming up with a place to go. Because I want to go somewhere that's a little different for me too, and that we can also do some fun things. And like I've been to Paris, and some of you have been to Paris, and I mean, Paris is always, I mean, who wouldn't go to Paris, right?
Yeah,
But anyway, and I also,
Toulouse
there's
is
lots of islands.
Toulouse is really cool too.
where is?
Toulouse in France.
Hmm,
I we had driven there because I stayed with my brother and sister-in-law in Barcelona, and we took a car trip. And so
okay.
we didn't make it to Paris, but Toulouse reminded me in Texas, it reminded me of an Austin versus a Dallas being Paris.
Okay.
It's a university place. The people were incredibly friendly. It's big enough. There's lots of things there and Michelin star restaurants there, and
Yeah.
it was just a real pleasant experience as far as France.
Otherwise, I was also thinking about the Tuscan Valley, like Italy, but I've been there a bunch of times too. So anyway, if you have some thoughts, my
I
sister,
have not been to northern Italy, so I'd be down for that.
okay. My one sister was like, why don't you go to Turks and Caicos? I'm like, I don't even know where that is. I mean, I've heard of it, but
That would
anyway.
be amazing.
Near Florida. It's near Florida.
Oh, it is?
Yeah, it's
Yeah,
in the Caribbean.
it's
Oh,
islands
okay.
in the Caribbean.
Well, if you have any ideas, shoot me a message. I also
Okay.
want to let you guys know that I have Meredith is not going to be able to make it to the second retreat, and she always comes and helps me with all the detail stuff because we're not at a hotel. Like in the hotel in the DR, I've got somebody there helping. Um, And so I'm super excited about this. My youngest sister is going to come and do all of this for us. And so I'm meeting with her Friday, and she's going to work with some people to get London figured out. And I'm really excited because we are I'm only going to teach, like we're going to have some really special times, but I think I'm going to do teaching as we go, right? Because like we'll be in the car, we'll do some things. But we're going to go investigate Hastings. We're going to go eat out and go do some fun stuff. So just be prepared for that. I'll also send you a
Oh,
link.
that's
I'm going to
wonderful.
introduce her to you all. And so I'll probably do a separate WhatsApp, or add her to the WhatsApp for a little bit. Hey, Krista. Hey, Joni. And then we'll go from there. So just to let you know
Yeah, I
that.
like having a travel WhatsApp and then a non-travel WhatsApp. Like,
Yep.
because otherwise there's too many conversations going into the same thing. And it's like, wait, I was trying to talk about this thing up here and now it's like logistics.
Mhm.
Like, so even when we're on
On the
location,
trip.
it's nice to have like, this is a question about logistics, about travel. This is the mastermind question. So
I
that
hear
would
you.
be my
I'm going to add
preference.
that to my new Google task list.
And then Pamela or Pam, to your point, then you can kill the travel one like after, like
Right.
you don't feel like you have to go back and reference it for anything. Where sometimes the mastermind one, I will go back and
Right.
look for something or
And Tracy's joining us again, so that's exciting.
oh yay.
Kristen,
Cruise
I
would
was
I
be
haven't
telling
seen
fun
them,
anybody
too.
else's pictures.
oh, we should do a picture sharing. So you guys find your pictures that you got from her, and next Tuesday we'll share off. You don't
I
get
have
my.
one. If you
Oh,
guys can
nice.
see my,
Yeah.
that's a cropped down version of one.
Hmm. Yeah, that's a good idea. Um, okay, we are going to talk today about some important stuff. But Chris, I was telling them my youngest sister is going to come help with all the logistical stuff for the trip in September. So I'll be introducing a WhatsApp. So just keep an eye on that. Okay.
And don't spill the beans of everything Debbie has told us about her in the WhatsApp.
Oh, yeah. Good point. This is the tree of trust, ladies. She is the
I'm
one
just
with
Yep.
kidding.
the spreadsheet that has to redo the spreadsheet, although she's not that bad anymore.
Yeah.
But that's part of why I'm asking her to come do this, right?
Yeah, and you
Yeah.
haven't said anything bad.
Thank you. Yes, that's a very good point. Okay, here's what I want to do. I want you to go around and quickly, I want to hear a win that you have had over the last week and something you're looking forward to this month.
Okay, I have a couple wins.
Okay, good.
So one, I leaned into events again to produce some content, and so that's been super fun. And we did a little mini retreat at La Fortuna and live music. It was so fun. So that was exciting.
Love doing
And
that stuff.
yeah, and somehow it's flipped something in me to have a little bit more confidence. I don't know exactly what happened, but and so then I'm looking forward to I've had a couple people reach out about management, and I feel like I'm in a better position
Oh, good.
to like close the deals, like to not overthink them. So I'm finishing a
That's
proposal.
exciting.
Yeah, it's really exciting. One, I think this one will come through, a $3.5 million home that they can't sell right now, and a 6 bedroom, 6 bath in a really good part of town, and it's stunningly beautiful.
Awesome.
Um, so that's what I'm looking
Very
forward
good.
to.
Thank you. That's awesome. Some things are moving for you. Pass it on to somebody.
Yes. I'm gonna do Krista.
Okay, so a win for me right now is that I'm here today.
Mhm.
And Debbie knows what that means.
I know, because if you didn't show up, I was going to tell everybody, and you can still do it. Show Krista some love this week.
So that's a win. Lots of stuff going on, crazy stuff. But anyway, something I'm looking forward to this month. I'm going to be 53 on the last day of the month, so I'm looking forward to celebrating another year around the sun.
53, you're a young one.
I love it.
I wouldn't have
And
put
you
you.
look 30, so
I know, I was going
Aw.
to say, I wouldn't have put you in your 50s at all.
Yeah, I appreciate that. My daughter has no problem telling you how old I am. She has no problem pointing out my gray hairs. She's working with us right now for the summer,
You have
doing
good
some
skin
work.
though.
Thank
Really
you.
good
Yeah,
skin.
I will say this. I am very blessed. I know I look younger and I'm very blessed. And I say it's my grandmother who had amazing skin. And so yeah. But like I said, my daughter has no problem telling me I have gray hair right here and here, and I have some here, you know.
Well, happy birthday month.
Yay. Okay, I'm gonna pick Pam.
I'm eating.
Pam, finish eating. I'll pick Carmen. Yeah, sorry.
Hello, hello. Well, my 35-year-old daughter tells everyone, look at her, that's what I'm gonna look like. And it's not
Oh, that's cool.
it's not too bad. So she's pretty proud of me. So
Good.
I'm
Awesome.
happy birthday month, Krista. Um, new I hired a new person. I had someone that had to leave, and it was just they had to leave, and I had someone else that was sort of going to come on, but I didn't have a great feeling, and she just didn't come, thank God. And then someone appeared in my life. She's got legal experience, and she's come in and she's enjoying it. So
Oh,
that's
Carmen, that's
that's a
great.
huge
Great
win.
evidence, right? That when something's not a hell yes, it's a hell no. And
Yeah.
when you're like, well, she sorta was gonna work out, I'm like, yeah, sorta is a hell friggin' no, right? Like that needs to go over here. And that the universe then provided what you were looking for.
Yeah,
Nicely done.
exactly. Because
Great evidence.
she's real. I'm like, how do you like it? Oh, I do. I do.
Good.
So
And what are you looking forward to
that's
this month?
I'm looking forward to her help pulling me into getting things done that have kind of been on the back burner. Um, and just kind of looking forward to a summary sort of attitude. People visiting and probably doing a weekend at the coast and just
Nice.
some sort of break things.
Good, good. Pass it on. We got Joni and Pam and me.
Joni, you don't look like you're eating, but you're muted. Joni, can you hear us?
Just chewing my gum.
Oh,
Just kidding. Um, oh man. I a win. You know, I had this random Instagram post go like get 700 or 7,500 views, which for me, I'm usually at like 300 marks. So I was like, oh, that's awesome.
Yeah, that's great.
Yeah. And it was just about like the picture was about them paving the road in front of my house, which I'm super upset about. And I just used Joni Mitchell's they, like they paved paradise. And but then I talked about how it's change, right? Like change is constant and we can either like get on board or resistance. I don't know if anybody read the caption, but it was I was like, wow, that was fun. Um and it's only fun because I've been trying to like experiment with different kinds of content.
Mhm.
And then oh my God, I'm so looking forward to school being out. I just got a phone call like as we're on this call from science, Katie's science teacher. She got caught using her phone to do her final in science, so now she gets a 0. And I was like,
Oh.
she was barely going to pass that class, and now she's not going to pass. So then, like half of me wants to get off the phone and go pick her up and just like bring her home and take her phone away from her.
All the things.
Makes me so mad. It's stupid. Those are like stupid that stuff. Anyway,
Consequences. They learned that though.
I don't know if she does, man. Maybe. She's a
Joni,
very much ask forgiveness kind of person.
I
And
love
she's so
Joni's
sweet.
daughter. Yeah. She is so sweet. And she is the book, The Strong-Willed Child. Because she just really doesn't like, I love that about her. Like she really
Right?
truly, she doesn't
Doesn't
care.
get very many fucks. Yeah.
Yeah, exactly.
It's
That's what I
hard.
was doing.
It's hard as
Yeah.
a teenage girl. I mean, as a mom of a teenage girl.
Yeah.
Anyway,
Authentic
so that's what
self.
I'm going to be able to do tonight.
School is almost out. Is their last day on Monday or Thursday?
No, they're Thursday.
Nice.
Her
Okay.
last day might be today.
Keep us posted. Pam,
Get
what
my
about
house clean.
the win for you?
So win for me, let's see, I've had 5 discussions now with potential buyers and I have 4 more on Friday. Um,
Momentum, momentum.
so that'll be interesting because I'll be in Ohio for a funeral. My sister-in-law's dad passed away, so we're leaving Thursday night and the funeral's in the afternoon. So I'm spending the whole morning at the hotel on calls with buyers. Which is a good thing, but awkward, weird. I don't know. Um, and I'm looking forward to um my sister's coming to visit this week, not this week, this month. And school will be out. My nephew Nathan, whose grandfather's one that just passed away, will get to celebrate him. And he's one of those kids that doesn't want a big to do. So he's agreed to let us have a barbecue. We can't call it a graduation party, it's a barbecue. But it will be nice to have something just for him because he's the youngest of the family, other than my Cohen, but the youngest of his siblings, and he never asks for anything. So that'll be fun.
Nice, nice.
Yep.
Well, I had a win. Last Wednesday, I did a speaking engagement. Joni was at, and I felt like I was on fucking fire. And it was awesome. And I've sold 5 retreat tickets. I had a private client sign up, and I've got 8 more sales calls on my file for that. And the woman that I did the speaking for, she does a lot of other things too. And so I did a trade with her, and I don't trade very often, to be a sponsor for all of her stuff. And she asked if I could sponsor again. I'm like, oh, let's see, 30 grand from your one speaking gig? Absolutely. Right. It's like, sure. So anyway, that was a huge win. And I am really looking forward to June. I my niece, my oldest niece, is graduating from UC Santa Barbara, and so I'll fly out at 5:45 a.m. On Friday morning of next week and spend the weekend with my brother-in-law's family. I'll be the only one there other than my dad and his wife, on my side of the family, and so they're just a lot of fun. And we're staying at this huge Airbnb, and so it'll just be fun. And I'm not taking my computer, I'm not taking anything work. I'm just going to go, which is actually the first time that I've done that where I haven't taken my computer and done work. So I'm looking forward to that. Just a really quick thing, just so you all know, because I stressed out about this for 3 weeks, and I drove 45 minutes. I was going to drive to the airport yesterday because I changed my passport because it expires in February, which is right at the 6-month part of September. And TSA pre-check, you give them your passport. So I'm like, okay, I can't find where to do it, but everywhere online says that you need to contact TSA pre-check. They don't have any phone numbers, right, for local places. So I go to Staples in Coeur d'Alene. And she's like, oh, no, I can't help you with that. I don't know how to do that. But here's an 800 number for TSA PreCheck. Call them. That's their customer service line. So I called, and he's like, ma'am, your TSA PreCheck is not connected to your passport. It's connected to your known traveler number. I'm like, but isn't my known traveler number connected to my passport? He's like, yeah, but it's not, you're fine. I'm like, shit, I've been worried about this for 3 weeks, right? And I just couldn't get to the office sooner than that. So good news is when you redo your passport, if you have TSA PreCheck, you don't have to update anything in TSA PreCheck, but we'll find out if I go batshit crazy next Friday at 5 in the morning. I can't go through TSA PreCheck. So I'll let you know. Then last logistics, and then I'm going to get into our training today. I will let you know too, I went out and applied for my European visa, and Delta took me straight to a different site, and I'll share that site with you because you can do it and it's good for 2 years. And it takes like 2 days for it to process. So just as an FYI. Okay, let's get started. You're going to need a piece of paper and a pen. Place. And we're going to talk about some different subjects and kind of the polarity of these different subjects. And when I talk about how does it make you feel, just a reminder, I want you to tap into how your body feels. I was trying to hang on to him because he keeps ringing the bells. And I'm like, if you pee in my house, I'm going to get mad at you. like how your body feels, and then also if there's any emotion attached to it, right? So when I talk feeling, I want you to think about those two things. Now, we're also going to talk about some situations, and I don't want us to go on and on and on and on and on about the situations, right? What I really want us to hone in on is how it made us feel, both in our body and from an emotion standpoint. The emotion is tied to our identity. The body signals us before we go into these situations. So I want you, with your piece of paper, to think about, and some of you may be in that right now, when you have felt the most overwhelmed that you've ever felt. Krista, you got to giggle because I was like, some of you might be feeling that right now.
It is 3:24, June 3rd. I'm feeling the most overwhelmed I've ever felt.
Yeah, so tap in because it is super relevant for you. And I want you to think about a situation where you felt your most overwhelmed in the last year. And again, it could be very current. And where do you feel it in your body? And what's some emotions that is attached to it? So describe that. And I'm going to ask you a few questions before we actually share.
What am I describing? How we feel it, or
Like where you feel it in your body.
okay.
You know, like somebody I was talking to mentioned that it felt really heavy, right? Or like their heart was racing and they felt like just like they couldn't take a deep breath, or like however that feels in your body, or where you notice it from a physical perspective. And then if there's any emotions that come with it as well. And I'm still here. I'm just filling my water while you guys are working. And then in that same realm, I want you to think about and describe in the last year, when did you feel the least amount of joy, delight, or flow?
The least amount?
Uh-huh. Same thing. Where did you feel it in your body? And what emotions come up for you? Anybody want to share, like when you felt the most overwhelmed, like where you felt that in your body? I'll take you out here in just a minute, bud.
Sure.
Like where did you feel that in your body and what emotions were attached to that?
Sure. I do. I felt that kind of in my chest and stomach, and it felt like tightness and pressure, and it felt hard to breathe.
Okay.
And the emotions were frustration, sadness, shame,
Mhm.
Powerlessness, helplessness.
Okay. Yeah, so pretty low vibrating feelings, right?
Oh yeah.
Yeah, yeah.
Ugh.
Anybody else? Is that kind of the same for the joy and delight, or did you feel differently there?
Um, it was more frustration and anger and actually loneliness.
Oh.
I felt like I couldn't nobody would understand.
Oh, okay. So that feeling of not being understood, and then did the body sensations feel similar to you?
Um the body sensations were more tense, more
Okay.
forward than they were.
Okay, good. Thank you. Anybody else want to share?
I will share. Mine's very oddly similar to Carmen. Um, so I don't know if that's typical or just coincidental or so the overwhelm. So actually both of mine feel like a V and like a rock between my boobs.
Huh?
Um
Sternum
still there.
area?
Yeah, still there, even though we're moving forward in the exercise, that feeling is still there. So the overwhelm was in the realm of shame, sadness, despair. I put helpless. I liked that word from Carmen. That would fit. Um, and then I put like it was almost felt like a truck hit me from the front, like it felt like it came for the front into me. Least joy, delight, flow was this past Memorial Day weekend. Um, Still felt it in the V, still felt it strong. So I don't know if it's lingering or truly associated. But that was more irritation, anger, frustration. I also added loneliness from Carmen.
Yeah. Okay, cool. Thank you. Anybody else?
I mean,
Kind
for me, it's in my stomach mostly, and I'll be honest, when I'm like, I've TMI, but no, Carmen, not just staffing money is stressing me out. Sorry, she's texting me. I'm just gonna show her that when money is stressing me out, like bad, guys, bad. Um, Diarrhea. I've had just diarrhea for days, and so okay, that's all I'm gonna say right now because I'm about to break down. So I'm gonna listen. Sorry, Debbie.
Don't be sorry. That's what we're all here for, right? And it's that sacral power, and Joni is the master of the physical and helping to release it. But part of why I want you to get really in tune with this is it's similar to my friend that has a dog, and she actually has these oh, what is it when you have epilepsy? Why a seizure?
Seizure.
She gets these seizures, and her dog is able to identify biochemically before she even knows that she's going to have these seizures. And so he'll come over to soothe her, and then she knows I need to sit down or I need to get my meds, like so that she doesn't fall and hurt herself or whatever. And it's a cue for her, and she's actually gone from having multiple seizures a year to, I just talked to her the other day, and she was kind of upset because she'd had a seizure, and it was the first time in a year that she'd had a seizure, right?
Mm.
I had to remind her, okay, it's been a year. And so I want you to be in tune with that, because almost like Freya, I want you to be so in tune with like the brand dog Freya, that you start to feel it happening to you before it even comes on, right? Because then it's about working yourself out of it. And, like Krista, you're right in the heart of it right now. And so it feels like, and you're doing the actions, you're doing inspired actions to get yourself out of it. But to that point, it does show up in things like diarrhea. It does show up in like forms of not sleeping and all sorts of different ways, right? But I want you to be in tune with that, not so much to create it, but to identify it when it starts to happen, right? Because now on the opposite end of it, I want you, or did anybody else want to share anything about when they felt overwhelmed? Okay, Pam and Jenny are like, yeah, whatever. Okay, so now I want you to do the opposite of that. And I want you to think about, when was the last time you felt so in flow? Like there was no overwhelm. You might have even had the thought, oh, when's the shit gonna hit the fan? Because this is too easy, right? Like where it just flowed. You had joy and you delighted in things. Like think about joyful moments. Like I think about spending time with my grandson and laughing, or getting caught talking to my dog. And like what are things that bring you joy and delight? And the same thing, like how does it feel? What are the body sensations that you get, and what are some emotions around that? And I'm going to ask each of you to share kind of what the body response was and your emotions around feeling the most in flow, the most joy and delight in the last year or so. So who wants to start?
I can go. I don't know if it's the most. I just recalled one.
Yeah.
So last Friday, which I don't know if you know this, but Lisa was up here camping, and so I met up with her. She lost her keys. It was crazy. So I drove to Spirit Lake, picked her keys up, and then drove up to camping the next day. Anyways, it was so fun. It was just me and her and James, and we just like decided in the moment what we were gonna do, and like sat down at the beach and had great conversations. And like,
Where did that feel? What did it feel like in your body?
oh yeah, you just wanted me to share that part. Sorry, I was giving the
Oh,
backstory.
no. You can share the example too.
Um, I felt like I just like thinking about just like felt like such peace and like connection and ease and like and present, like I was like, oh, this is all I have to do until 3 o'clock.
Mm.
And so I mean there was 1,100,000,000 other tasks that I could be doing, but I was choosing.
Yeah, yeah.
Yeah, ease. Yeah.
Okay. That was a great description. Thank you.
I guess spaciousness would be like it felt spacious. Yeah.
Okay, good. And is there an image that comes up for you around this idea of like the body feeling spaciousness, feeling part of what I was hearing you say without saying is like a calmness? Like you didn't feel like you had to like rush to the next thing. Like, is there an image
Yeah,
that,
I said, oh, an image.
yeah.
I mean, I don't know which better image you can get of sitting on the edge of Priest Lake in May in your lawn chair in your kayak, and it was 90 degrees, and it was like just beautiful. Yeah. So I mean, it's just in my body, I just felt like peace and ease, and yeah,
Yeah. Do you have a picture of that spot?
in my mind.
No, in your phone.
I don't even know if I took, like, I didn't even have my phone out. Like I took a picture of Lisa on her phone, but I don't think, because I could see the lake reflecting in our sunglasses. Super cool. But I don't even think I did any, like, I was just in the moment. Yeah.
Okay. Okay. Thank you. Pass it on to the next person.
Oh, I have to choose somebody. Shireen's not on mute.
I picked this past weekend too. Again, same as Joni, maybe not the most, but just what immediately came to mind. And we had done this little mini retreat called Slow Mentum, and I partnered with somebody. But the Saturday night, I also hired somebody to come out and do live music because it's something I'm considering rolling out at the property. And that was just awesome. And there was just this one, and I had this new social media person that's capturing content, and he's so funny. And there was just this moment where we were all dancing, but the way I walked by him and he walked by me, and just we were both like so just in the moment, proud of what we had accomplished, put it, like it just felt good and people were enjoying it. All the things Joni said about just being present, calm, peaceful. But I also added just the word all is came, and it was more like all is as it should be. Like there was, which is also present for me, like
Any body
just
sensation?
yeah. So when I was thinking about it, it was more like it was like whoa, like a sun rays and just like it just felt. We'd also done cacao, which they say opens up your heart some, but it just felt like really freaking expansive,
Nice.
but like in
Any,
a beautiful way, like just really
yeah.
open and light and lighthearted and free flowing, no constraints,
Okay. And
no
so is the image
restrictions.
like of these sun rays going
Yeah, it
everywhere?
was like, so I wrote like, the other one I felt very localized. This kind of felt from like right above my belly button to my chin, side to side and out.
So the image though is of a sun and the rays going. Okay, good. Thank you. Pick somebody.
I pick Carmen.
So, the body sensation, it feels like being all in flow. I feel light, energetic, and I feel like positive vibrations going out. I feel very sharing in that positive energy, and that I feel like at that point I can tackle anything. Um, I feel powerful and energetic, and I feel like accomplished.
Nice. Okay. And any image come to mind for you?
Um, just an image of being kind of bigger than me,
Mm,
having this energy field around.
okay. And what does that energy field look like? Like, is it different colors? Is it
It's light. It feels like light. It feels like
okay?
vibrations just going out, but not surrounding, not protective. It's like I'll share it. You get in my space. I want you to pick up the good parts, the
Yep.
positive.
Okay. Good. Thank you. Pass it on.
Krista,
I mean, honestly, I don't know when I felt like pure joy. I mean, I feel joy, don't get me wrong. I'm just, I mean, I feel joy right now. I'm just like, I have feel like I've been so stressed for the last, since like into last summer. So almost for a year now. I feel like I've just been like so stressed about everything. But I mean, I did feel joy when I was at the beach with my family on Thanksgiving week because it was kind of a relaxing week. And I felt relaxed. I didn't feel that empty pit in my stomach that I feel.
Okay.
And I felt, kind of light. My body didn't feel heavy. You know, I think that's kind of what I can imagine right now.
Okay. Is there, no, good job. Because when you're in the middle of that, it's difficult to get to that point. So hats off to you for seeing that and reminiscing in that. Did you have an image pop up for you of what that feels like to be not in overwhelm or to feel more in flow or joy?
It was like, and not that I did this, but it felt like I walked on the beach a little bit, but I felt like if I could dance on the beach, like if I was a little bit lighter. Okay, I cannot leap anymore because I'm so heavy. But I'm just saying, like, if I were able to get my fat ass off the ground and leap around, okay. That's kind of what I would feel like on the beach.
Okay. Yeah, it's funny you make me think of one time, there was a group of us that were in Malibu, not Malibu, in Santa Monica, and we were walking down the beach to go eat at Venice Beach, which is just south of there. And there's all sorts of stuff on the boardwalk there, right? Like the big skateboarding park, and I could sit and watch that for hours because these guys are good, right? Like Shaun White used to go practice there.
Oh, wow. Yeah.
And so we're walking and we're down on the beach, and all of a sudden we come across all these people and they're all dancing, but we don't hear any music. And we're like, what the hell's going on? And it was one of those silent discos where they all had the headphones on and they're all like dancing on the beach, right? Like not caring at all what was happening. So what I hear you saying is you're seeing yourself dancing on the beach, or like seeing someone dance on the beach is your thing. So okay, Pam, I think you're the last one left.
Okay. So I was thinking about Mother's Day when all of my kids and my plus ones were all here. And I think it feels like kind of warm and like a hug almost.
Yeah. So I'm almost getting this impression from you that it's like a warm, tingly feeling all through your body.
Yeah. Yeah, because we just sit around and like tell stories and look at pictures, and it's so cool to see them all interacting together. Even the girls, like, they have a friendship now, and it's nice to have girls in the house because don't
Yep.
typically get a lot of that.
Yeah.
But yeah, like I grew up, my mom had a really big family. And so when they always got together, it was always like this warm, festive, friendly, they just really enjoyed being together. And when your kids are growing up, they're kind of assholes, right? They're like jerks to each other. They don't want to be in each other's presence. They don't want to share time, but now that my kids are older, we get to do that now. And it's so cool because they don't live with me. So when they all come, it's like, it just feels like a hug.
Yeah, that's awesome. Did you have an image come to you of that?
Mm,
That feeling, like what the body feels like?
I mean, other than a hug, I would say I don't know why, but have you ever looked at a clotta ring? It's an Irish ring that's got like the two hands with the heart in the middle, you know?
Yeah.
Like, I don't know why, but that image is what came to me.
Okay, good. So each of you have an image. And here's what I want you to do. Your homework is to find an image that represents the image that you have seen, whether it's someone dancing on the beach, whether it's that particular place and maybe you go drive there, Joni, and take a picture of that place. I don't know where they were camping, but, um, or on the lake, like a picture of the lake, whatever it is. And what I want you to do is print that image out. And Krista, this is super duper important for you right now because you're in the midst of like the overwhelm feeling. And I want you to put it up in front of you somewhere, right? Because it's a visual reminder, because sometimes what happens in the neuroscience of our brain, and particularly, and the reason I keep saying you, Krista, is because you're in it so much now, it feels like the hamster wheel, right? And it creates, because what happens is in each of those situations that you all talked about, there's a common theme that you are present, right? You were present in the moment. That's when you felt the flow. That's when you felt joy or delight, and you were enjoying that moment. When we get into overwhelm, when we get into like not feeling joyful, it's usually because we're either living in the past and we're looping a story in our head, and a lot of times it's both, or we're living in the future. And it was interesting because Kristen, when you were talking about the money thing, I kept thinking about Shireen. And in the last mastermind, she kept saying, $80,000 is as easy as a glass of water, right? Like, or you're on mute. I can't hear you.
75,000 is as easy as a glass of water, and that's Joni, and I say it freaking daily. So
Okay, so hold on. So you're just 75,000 is easy as a glass of water. So that's
yes,
just kind of like it's easy to make that much money.
yes, like a lot of Joni can chime in too, but a lot of it's for me, it's not everybody knows how to get water. Like we perceive that to be super easy, but other people, that's not easy. And it's the stories I have around it. Like I just perceive water to be super easy because I have a faucet and I go there. And so 75,000's out there just like water. I just perceive it to be harder to go get it.
Yeah.
And so if I could let go of some of those perceptions, what might I see? That's how I take it.
Okay.
Yeah, and what
Thank you.
might actually come in, right?
Mhm.
Free that up.
But I have to see it because if I see it as hard, it could still be coming right at me and I'm going to let it go right on by me.
Yeah. You need to go get one of those acrylic glasses of water. You know how like they have those fake water plants, right? Like, yeah, because the reason I'm asking you about the image is I want you to get that image and put it in front of you. Because if you ever are feeling like you're in the overwhelm, like neurobiology wise, we have to take a pause. And sometimes the only way we can take a pause is we look at something. That's why I have my easy button. I am notorious for overcomplicating shit. So that easy button is there as a reminder because it makes me pause. Right? It's not about the easy button. It makes me laugh too, but like it really is about it makes me pause from the going on, right? And I stop for a moment and I take a breath and then I'm like, "Oh yeah, that was easy." And I've almost got the voice down. That was easy. And like and then it allows me to stop and go, "Okay, what would it take for me to feel flow?" Now, a lot of times for me, it's actually getting a piece of paper and just writing down all the shit that I need to do and plotting it on my calendar so that I feel better about knowing it'll get done. That's just me because time is my story, right? Or for money wise, like inevitably, I just did it last night. I went through and said, "Oh, do I have everybody's funds and which ones came through Stripe and which ones came through?" Because I've had stuff happen in QuickBooks where it didn't charge somebody's card, but it says paid, right? Pam knows that. I'm like,
Mhm.
I'm fucking paid. Like, stop that shit. Make it like red so I know to go look at it, right? But the point being is like, we all need different tools to help us get out of there, but you have to take the pause first. So get that image and put it in front of you. And then, whether you like it or not, check WhatsApp because we're all going to be sending Krista some love about like helping her stay out of the overwhelm and knowing what a badass she is. She's been doing hard stuff. Shireen did a bunch of hard stuff last year with her staff.
Mhm.
Because I
So
didn't want to come today. I wasn't going to come today.
I know.
I mean, I'm here because Debbie's making me come. I'll be very honest.
We're
But I'm
so
here.
glad. We're so glad,
That's her
Krista.
job. That's why you pay her,
That is right.
right?
You're
To
paid
help you keep going.
Yeah. And
Um,
Krista, honestly, I'm
Krista,
glad you're here.
if it's any help, and I'm happy to talk to you, privately too. But the thing that did and does help me, if you can give yourself permission just to let it go today, like it'll wait for you tomorrow, but you're going to have to take those breaks from the shame and the guilt and the worry and the, because it'll eat you up.
Yep.
Thank you.
Yeah. And I do believe there's never randomness, right? And what I mean by that is Shireen went through some very similar things. And so it might not hurt for the two of you
Yeah.
to go for a
Yeah.
walk, have a 15
Yeah.
minute
I can come to San Antonio. You're not far.
Can I also add this is less touchy-feely part of this, but like a little, like just to drive the point of the pause and then the totem, right, of what it feels like. And it's like we get more of what we're feeling, right? So if we stay in the overwhelm, the only choice is more overwhelm. Versus if we can find the joy and the flow even in a few minutes, then that signals to the universe, right? And it's like, so Krista, like, I don't know your situation. I paid for my gas in quarters on Friday because my debit card didn't work and my credit card didn't work.
Okay. So
Um,
yeah, you know where I'm feeling at right now. Okay. I mean,
but I still went up and had a great day. Like I was just like, you know what? there's nothing I can do right now. Well, there probably was, but
Well,
I
but that's like,
chose
yeah.
I chose to feel great that day, right? Um, I'm not going to digress on this story. It gets worse. But anyways, but the point is, if we want, like, we have to be in the feeling of the thing to get more of it, and that's why the break, the pause, the break, and then the like, what do you want to feel piece is so super important.
Yeah, thank you, Joni, because I couldn't have paid
you.
you to, because this is exactly to wrap it up, is
Oh,
that
you already knew.
part of why I want, no, that was perfect. Part of why I wanted us to go through and say, how do you feel it in your body? And the pause is important because it allows you to step back and go, which one do I want to feel? And exactly what Joni was saying, even when we're in the thick of it, if you can find one thing to be joyful about, like, I'm so glad I'm learning this lesson right now. Fuck you, universe. I'm so glad I'm, like learning this lesson now, whatever it is. Like you can create that, because Joni's right. That's that, that idea of attraction. And when you are in the heart of it, if you can just even crack it just a little bit to see some kind of light. And that's where this is a sacred sisterhood. And so, we all know we've been in, some of you are in it right now too. Others of you, you've maybe been in it before. And there is no guilt or shame, right? Like, because that is a lower vibration. And it's okay to say, I feel guilty about this. And then ask yourself the question, what would it take to not feel guilty about it? Well, maybe I let go of this like expectation that I don't even know if anybody has an expectation on me. I have it on myself, but like, screw it. I'm going to go up and enjoy the lake right now. And to Shireen's point, like, just give yourself some permission to let it go. Now, there's an art and a science to it, because you don't want to like keep letting it go and letting it go and letting it go and become the.
I'm not saying that. Like, don't be
No.
like Oscar or ostrich in the sand or whatever,
Yeah.
but do just
Right.
take a break from it from a minute, like, or at least that was was my saving grace, is just a few pop outs, like, to
Well,
Joni's point, just go have fun, just be
Well, I
light,
want you to think about this. Like, if you think about, like, one of my new private clients, she was the first female colonel at the Air Force Base here in Spokane, right? Here she's in a man's world. When they're at war, like, they have stuff there, like, to have fun and blow off steam and to take a break from it, because your physiological body needs a break from it too. And so, yes, and then cherish those moments and be present. No guilt, no shame zone about taking a break from it.
Mhm.
Okay.
And
Just
start counting the leaves on a tree. Like, start counting the blades of grass, right? Start counting the oxygen molecules in the air, because that leads us back to that feeling of abundance, right? Like, oh my gosh, how many need I do that every time I'm having the thought of I don't have any money, then I'm like, oh my gosh, there's a million pine needles on a pine tree, and then I can see 20 million, like,
Yeah.
just to bring back in the like, oh my gosh, the abundance that is here for us now.
Well, I mean, and one thing that has helped me is my gratitude alarm. It goes off every day at 8:30 and 2:30, or 8:45 and 2:30. And it's, I was in the middle of interviewing a paralegal right now. So real quick, the second legal assistant, remember I hired 2 people? They're both gone now.
Mm.
So I think, yeah, I don't know. Yeah, because I was talking to Debbie last week. So the legal assistant that was doing awesome worked with us for 2 weeks, and then she quit via text Monday morning saying she wasn't coming in.
Oh, no.
And we haven't heard back from her since.
Did she give you a reason?
No, just I won't be back in the office. So Carmen, that's why I was asking you who it was, just because I don't want you to have to deal with like anyone that we've dealt with.
Yeah. Well, and that's
Right.
what I say too. If you can keep the belief that the universe is always for you,
Right.
the bigger and better the better employee is going to be out there. So take a pause, find your image. As a matter of fact, WhatsApp it to everybody. And I will talk to you guys. I don't know if we have a call on Thursday or not. Just look at your calendars and I'll talk to you either Thursday or Tuesday. Okay.
She's like,
Next
I don't know if I'm
time.
talking to you again, but bye.
Bye.
GTFO, y'all.
I gotta let my dog out. Okay. Bye, guys.
Bye.
Oh, yeah, that cracks me up. All right. Thank you, ladies. Love you. Bye.
Absolutely. Love
Love
you
you.
too. Bye.